back to another episode of Entre Risas y Llantos. My name is Cynthia.
And my name is Alondra. And today we have a very special guest, Jaime Muñoz.
Hola todos. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you.
Cue the clapping. All right. So first of all, we haven't recorded a podcast episode in so long because of me. Because I just... I've been busy coming up with excuses.
Yeah, every excuse until because I called her. I was like, so what the hell? You want me to start selling everything? Because we need somebody.
And Cynthia and I were already speaking about like we wanted to start bringing content creators, like meet your favorite content creator that is here in Chicago. Cynthia and I were already speaking for a while. Like we wanted to start like a meet your favorite content creator segment for Entre Risas y Llantos. And first of all, I was stalling, but I felt like Jaime was like the perfect person to start off this segment with, porque he's like our number one fan.
Yeah.
No, here's the thing. I was going to say, I'm so honored to be here because there's so many big personalities in the Chicago Latino content creator community.
Yeah.
And I am a little bit more subdued. I'm a little bit more like low key, quiet. However, I am a super fan.
Yeah.
Of the podcast. So I was like, who better to restart the pod than me, right?
Exactly, because we haven't filmed in we haven't filmed in so long. So the same day that Cynthia called me, she's like, okay, so what the fuck are we gonna do? Are we gonna sell the equipment? Because Cynthia's an Aries y she's impatient y como que es bien impulsiva, como que ¿qué es lo que vamos a hacer? So that same day I called Jaime and I'm like, hey, we want to bring you in as our guest. Like starting off this segment, I know that we have invited some content creators, pero we want to start more like, queremos invitar más.
Yes.
So he's like starting off this series and I'm like, Jaime is like the perfect person because there was an award ceremony that we were both invited to where we both met Dolores Huerta.
Oh, yeah.
And we were the only two content creators that were invited.
That's nice.
So we were speaking. He was like, yeah, like when are you going to have another episode? Because at that time, también it had been a while since we had posted. Yes. So he's like, when is your next episode? And he started pointing out specific things that he remembered from each episode. And I was like... You listen. I'm like, you tune in on us. Like, that's crazy.
Here's the thing about me. If you tell me a thumbnail, if you describe to me a thumbnail of your podcast, I'll tell you the key points, like the summary of what was spoken about in that podcast.
Wait, one episode that you can recall where you were like, I like when they said that, or something memorable about one of our episodes.
Pues, okay, so I love the one that I think the episode that I rewatched the most is the
rewatch that.
Yeah.
It's the one of all of your travels where Cynthia gets you drunk like every single time.
What? And that wasn't even our most viewed video.
I know.
That's crazy.
I think the Maddie one is the most
such a bad influence.
You think? No, I think the one where we had our mom and our grandma.
Oh yeah, that one was a beautiful one.
Yeah,
that was the most viewed.
That was my favorite one, honestly.
That was such a beautiful episode.
A mí se me hizo como si fuera terapia. And a lot of people dijo, esto es como una terapia literal en cámara.
I think for everyone, right? For y'all, pero también for your mom and your grandma.
Yeah.
I think for everybody.
There was like
therapy.
A healing moment right there. That we captured that shit.
I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And it's now in YouTube for everybody to know our traumas. Que robaron a mi abuelita y todo. Pero let's get into Jaime because Jaime is a content creator. He's doing amazing things. Just to start off, Jaime is a first-generation college graduate and the son of Mexican immigrants just like us. After earning a bachelor's degree in economics from UCLA, like that is an amazing school. And then you went on to Stanford. Wow. And then he got his MBA at Stanford. He pivoted away from corporate America. And today, Jaime is a Chicago-based entrepreneur and content creator whose videos, he blends a little bit of humor, cultural insight, and storytelling to explore the first-generation experience, family dynamics, identity, and career. And those are topics that we love to talk about in this episode because we're like, what can we speak? We didn't want to be a chisme podcast. It's super easy que ya cuando empezamos a platicar cosas de la familia y whatever.
Es que es muy también cuando vas a la familia. Ay, es que no te podemos contar nada porque luego vas a decirlo.
Yeah.
And we didn't want, no queríamos traer como drama into our family because we do have a big family and we do get along with all our family. So para qué andar de chismosas también.
I know.
But not just family chisme. Like we didn't want it to be like a chisme podcast. If you guys are not following Jaime, please follow him right now. His username is going to be here and in the description below. He talks about important topics in each video.
What we go through.
Yeah, like what we go as first generation, children of immigrants. But we do want to start off with like your childhood. ¿De dónde eres?
I'm from California, born and raised from California, but both my parents are from Mexico, from Michoacan, which is where your family is, también. So we have that in common. There's actually a lot of people with Michoacan roots in Chicago.
Yes,
I've noticed
a lot, and Jalisco, Jalisco, Zacatecas.
Because I feel like in California there was a huge Latino community, but I feel like in Chicago it's like there.
All the Mexicans are here.
I love it because then the food, especially because I get super homesick with like not having my grandma's cooking.
Yeah.
So it's nice to like go to Pilsen and have something.
Yeah, South Side in general, basically.
Yeah.
Todo South Side casi te vas a encontrar comida mexicana.
Yep.
So, Jaime, how did growing up as an eldest son in a Latino household with your grandma, living at home, shape you who you are today?
I mean, I had a beautiful childhood. As the oldest of four, you already carry a lot of responsibilities that were assigned to you without you knowing, right? So making sure that your siblings were doing their homework, like you were picking up Alondra from school, essentially being like the anchor to your family, along with being a family administrator. So you were the one translating bills. You were the one making you were answering the phone. You were the receptionist, so you could annotate like when is the next appointment, when they have to like pick up their pills, their medications. So it was a lot of responsibility and a lot of growing up fast. But you also, those are like skills that like I will never take for granted.
Yeah.
Like being responsible. Because I feel like that character trait of being responsible carried throughout all of my academic career. So it was beautiful, but it came with a lot of challenges too. You know, as the oldest, I was also tasked with helping my parents with their citizenship.
Yeah.
So for me, because I knew English the best in my household, my parents would take me out of school, 3rd and 4th grade, to go to San Francisco. And mind you, this is when you're like learning cursive. Your classmates are learning cursive. And I'm being excused out of my classroom to go to San Francisco to talk to a judge to prepare me to state my parents' case.
Yeah.
Like for them to stay in the US.
Oh my God.
So that is a memory that I will carry with me. It built me, but that's just an example of what it was like to be a son of immigrants and to be the eldest.
And it's crazy how it's so normalized. Like I'm like, yeah, this is the type of shit we had to do.
Yeah.
I remember, it's a core memory. My mom told me, I was very little, me decía, mija, tradúceme lo que me está diciendo el doctor. And I had no idea. I'm like, I don't even know English. My mom had me in bilingual. So,
¿Qué no para eso te ponemos en las clases de inglés? And then like, damn, like, it's like, I know that you're saying que you wouldn't trade it for anything, but at the time you're like, damn, like, I should be having to worry about going outside and playing with my friends right now, but I'm over here doing something super serious.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I didn't know better, right? I didn't know that there was like that other light childhood of being outside playing with other kids. For me, it was like go to school, get out of school to help my parents with their case, and then like do homework, translate, eat, sleep, repeat.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Pero it all comes with like, imagínate la infancia que tuvieron nuestros papás. Ya con nosotros se va mejorando. Obviously, for us, it wasn't easy as well.
Right.
Like we también teníamos momentos where it was difficult in our childhood as well, pero nada comparado a nuestros padres. And then I don't know if it's like an innate thing that us children of immigrants, I don't know at what age we understand where we know where we're different. I understood my parents' immigration status. I knew that they didn't have privilegio. Yeah, and I understood because of my dad's fear of the police.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and I think that's the thing that made me realize that I was different, right? Because to me, I didn't really like know better about my family's status, right? Their immigration status or their citizenship, right? But for them, they were always scared.
Yeah.
They were living life scared. And I think that put negative associations, negative feelings towards my family.
Right.
So I was ashamed. I was like not trying to talk about it with my classmates or anything because my parents, they didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I think at one point they said, hey, don't mention anything to your classmates. So it was almost like I had this big secret. It was my family's big secret and they were scared of it. So I was also like confused and scared.
Wait, what was the demographics like in your school?
Predominantly Mexican and Filipino.
Oh,
it was
really?
like 50-50.
Yeah.
There was a percentage where it was other know, ethnicities, but predominantly Mexican and Filipino.
Yeah. Wow, that's interesting. Pero you just reminded me, like, for you, it was going to those important, legal meetings. Y a mí, yo fui con mi papá a sus interviews. Él me
Like
llevaba,
job interviews?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he didn't speak English, but my dad, you know what? He's always had like janitorial experience.
Y nos decía a nosotros que llenáramos su application.
Yeah.
Because it was in English.
We would fill out we would apply for him. I made the Indeed account for my dad. And then I'm like, you have an interview this day at this time. Maybe that was when I was already like in middle school towards high school. Pero then he would be like, I have an orientation. Can you go with me? Yeah, so I would go to my dad, and I went to one interview with him, and then I went to like a couple orientations with him. So I couldn't translate everything that they were talking about.
Yeah,
but I'm like, cosa normal, cosa cool, cosa...
No, that was my experience also with parent-teacher conferences.
Yeah.
You know, and the good thing was that I was a good kid.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have to like lie in the translation. But you know how it's like the teacher's telling you like, oh, pues, you know, Jaime needs to work on this.
Yeah.
Like he's a bad student. Like he's noisy, disruptive. And then like I wouldn't have to say like, oh, pues, you know, she's saying I'm a good kid. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
lie. But no, I mean, that was the case of you grow up translating, essentially.
It's crazy how immigrant parents really put in that push of like being good at school, porque they're like, this is the only thing you have to worry about. But I'm like, no quieren que sigas los mismos pasos que ellos. They don't want you to have a freaking back-breaking job y todo. And then also as a children of immigrants, you don't want to disappoint your parents. Like they already did this whole ass sacrifice.
I'm going to touch a topic that you just made me remember, core memory, when I took my mom to high school and I had a D.
I'm telling you.
And I did lie to my mom in front of the teacher.
What did you say?
I told her that I just needed to work more on my English.
This bitch.
I knew it.
Still using the English as a second language card.
I was already a junior. I was like, oh, well, she just told me to learn more English.
This girl.
I was actually ditching a lot of school.
Yeah. I felt like I definitely had that pressure because, I mean, I wasn't a good student. Like, I don't know, if, like K through 5th, I feel like I was struggling with math and science.
Yeah.
But
you were a very good student.
Pero yeah, 6 and up, I think I think that was like the shift. I think I started excelling.
Right.
Like above, like 6th grade and above. And I didn't want to disappoint them. I'm like, they already got a lot of shit going on. Imagine them knowing that they have a dumbass kid at home. Like
They were already very disappointed of me.
I mean, I think for me, education was like my family's way out.
Yeah.
I saw education as, because I had no other privilege, because I had no other safety net. I thought that if I followed all the rules in school, got into the best colleges, got the best job, it was like my cheat code.
Yeah.
Without, it was my cheat code, but it was also by following the rules.
Right.
So I was super studious. I was focused. I thought this was like my family's way out.
And are your siblings like similar to you?
No. Sorry to my siblings who are watching this.
It's always that one person in the family.
Yeah. But I think it's also as the eldest kid, I think I was the one that was like, I'm going to do this for my parents. My siblings were all very different. My brother, who's 3 years younger than me, he's a rapper. So like he went the more like creative, artistic route. My sister is a nurse, so she's in the medical field. And then my youngest brother, I feel like he's like a mixture of all three of us.
Okay.
But I think it's because I don't know if it's I don't know if I can describe it as people pleasing, but I think it's like he wants to make all of us happy. So he kind of took parts of all of us and he kind of became his person. Yeah. But he is working at the first job that I worked at when I graduated college. Oh. Because you know how people have like nepotism and nepo babies? Yeah. I was like, I made it this far. It's my turn to have a nepo baby. Yeah. So I spoke to one of my contacts at my old job and I was like, hey, I have a brother. Yeah. Like, how do I get him to interview? And he got the job. So
good.
That's nice.
You're starting off the network in the family.
Yes.
Yeah, because imagínate en las familias donde like rich families, like
that's how they do.
Just to give you an example, somebody that I graduated with, her mom she had like a really important position for Ford. And then she had like an internship that summer, and I'm like, you fucking bitch.
Can you get me in?
I mean, I'm grateful. I'm like, I'm happy for you, but I'm a hater at heart because damn, all your mom had to just call somebody, hey, give my daughter an internship, something like business related, because she was studying business. That's nice. I'm just like, God damn, like, imagínate eso. like a la gente donde like that's given to them, and we have to work for these connections.
Yeah.
Connections is everything in this day and age.
I always tell everybody when they're in college and like, what's the biggest advice you give? And I'm like, always go to these networking events because that's how you meet all these empresarios, and then you, con que le caigas bien, they're gonna put in a word for you. That's all you need.
All right, so something else that we really wanted to touch on was the fact that you went to amazing schools. First of all, you went to UCLA for your bachelor's, and then you got your MBA at Stanford University. Like, that is amazing.
Stanford.
Yeah.
How was it?
Which one?
Stanford.
I mean, both. Like, because they were both really great institutions. But if you can just, like, out of those two schools, which one was, like, the most difficult experience for you?
I think UCLA was. Just because I was the first person in my family to go to college, move away from home. Even though it was still in California, it was like 5 hours away from where my family.
That's actually like a long commute. I was 3 hours away, so 5 hours. Wow.
And my family wanted me to go to Berkeley because Berkeley was a lot closer to.
You would have been able to stay home or no?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But I, like you were like, I need to leave this house. I was more like that too. I was like, and not. It was more because I think I needed more independence, and I felt like so much responsibility and pressure was already put on me that I think I needed a little bit of a release. Yeah. But then I also toured both schools, and I felt like UCLA was more my vibe. Yeah, like when you just know. I was an admission counselor, so like I know that you just notice that when students are visiting schools and they're like, this is it. Yeah. And when there is no it factor, you can tell by their expressions and everything. They're like, oh, okay, the school is like whatever. But when you visit that one campus and you get that feeling like, I could live here for the next 4 years. Yes. And I made it a point for my parents to visit too for admit day. Yeah. Because I knew that they would have more comfort in my decision if they knew where I was going to be living the next 4 years. But the reason why I say it's super difficult is because, you're coming into some of the most earliest moments of adulthood. Yeah. Right? Like you're sharing a space with strangers versus like with your siblings. And that's already a huge shift. Mm-hmm. You are navigating... Sorry, we said at the same time. Yep, I'm telling you. But anyways, you're navigating a space for the first time that no one else that came before you knew how to give you any tips, right? Like, so you're kind of you're being thrown into the space, not knowing which classes to take, not knowing how much of an impact it is to take the wrong classes, right? Because you could be kept another quarter semester if you don't have the graduation credits. Right. And now you're also paying more. So now and I say we, like the Latino community, at least in my friend group and stuff, we almost fell behind and we had to catch up because we didn't know some of the things that, our peers' parents knew having gone to college. People who had parents as alums. Yeah. And it's crazy because my parents didn't even know what a GPA was. They don't know what a GPA was. And so I'm like, damn, like I really do have to figure everything out on my own. I didn't know what a major was. Yeah. Or that you needed to sometimes like pass to get into your major. Yeah. Like it wasn't automatic. I had to figure out everything by myself, but I went to a community college first. And that was because one of my cousins, she was in the Army, and she was the one that guided me in that way. Because I was going to go to some random art school and not knowing anything, I was going to pay so much money. She was like, no, you're going to start here. And then you're going to work your way to UIC. Yes. And then that's how I did it. But I was just like, I had no idea what I want to be. I have no idea. Like I switched my major in community college. Like I did criminal justice, right? And then that was like a waste of classes. But I did took like a business class, a basic business that helped me for my major. But it was, even though like that helped me so much to save money. Yeah. I was grateful for that because if it wasn't for that, my mom didn't know, my dad didn't know. My dad never went to my school. He was always working. So it was like on my own. I have to figure it out. My dad all care. He was like, nomás tráeme un diploma. Sí. Quiero ver que traigas un diploma. I'm like. And they expect you to have the best paying job right after that. Or a job, period, right? Because some students, they graduate and it takes them months to get a job, which, no shade, right? It's not like to like put people down. It's more so that we don't know that you actually have to recruit for a job your junior year summer. That way you do the internship. Yeah. That way you can get a full-time hire back. So that's what I did. But that's because I kind of clinged on to like the people that knew what they were doing.
Right.
I joined like business clubs and undergraduate business societies, and these kids knew exactly what they were doing, and they were going for the top internships. And I was like, I need to get one of those top internships because at UCLA, the coveted jobs were investment banking, management consulting, and accounting. And there was only maybe like a handful of spots at each job.
Right.
Right. So you had to claim a spot. But the thing is, you had to know how to get that. And it was a lot of like learning and workaround that I'm thinking, how would I know that if I didn't like meet these people?
Right.
Yeah. I think that's the difference between you, like when you were starting off your bachelor's, your undergrad experience, porque it's like that is the first you navigating everything by yourself type of experience. Ya cuando fuiste a Stanford, ya tenías esa
I knew
that knowledge how to navigate school. You're like, okay, I'm gonna use what I learned in my undergrad.
Yeah.
For Stanford.
I came into Stanford with like intention. I had like laser focus because I knew exactly what I was going there for. But with undergrad, I didn't. I think the other part that made UCLA and just undergrad so difficult is that psychologically, I had pieces of me somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I was in lecture halls, but I couldn't concentrate because I was thinking, well, how is my family doing?
Yeah.
Because I was the glue, I was the anchor. And without me, I'm like, are they okay?
You
Right.
feel a sense of guilt.
It's a guilt that not a lot of people would understand if they're not first gen.
Dude, and there's families que no dejan a sus hijos. There's families that have told their kids that got accepted to Harvard, to Yale, to reject those acceptances para que no se vayan y que no, to stay local.
Well, that's what my parents wanted que hicieron conmigo. They're like, just stay local, somewhere near. And I'm like,
Yeah.
y my first, it was my cousin que me dijo, oh, pues ven a esta escuela.
That's why for me, it was different because no one in my family had left.
Right.
So, and Cynthia también me decía, quédate, no seas pendeja, you're not going to have that, this and that. But I was like, I don't care.
I wanted to do it because yo tenía dinero to travel y te lo decía para que you could travel with that money y no gastaras tanto. Because being out también tienes que gastar más en room and board, tienes que gastar en comida. So yo te lo decía porque yo ya estaba viajando con ese money bag. Y yo te decía, wait, just stay here and travel with that money. Pero acá mis ojos querían.
And my parents would be like, do what Cynthia did. And then because Cynthia at this point in our life, she was the example. Dude, she's the oldest granddaughter. Are you the oldest grandson?
No, I'm not.
You have older cousins?
Sí.
Cynthia's the oldest daughter and the oldest granddaughter. Like nobody has the example in my family.
You're the role model, whether you like it or not.
She paved the way. She paved the way. Pero I'm just like, pero no quiero hacer lo que hizo Cynthia. Yo me voy a ir de la casa, me voy a largar.
And I think at that point, it's harder for you to convince your parents to let you do your own thing because Cynthia was already like doing well, like, and she had a path that worked. Right.
So it only took her how many years? This bitch kept taking fucking breaks.
That's right.
I love my breaks, okay? It was mental breaks.
It's what is it called? It's mental health.
Yeah.
You're taking care of your mental health.
I don't know how long it took you to get your
6
fucking
years.
bachelor's.
6 years, okay.
But I did want to touch the topic about education because that's one of the topics that you consistently talk about in your videos. So like I said, if you haven't watched his content, he tackles like a specific topic. And I think one of the videos like this is my why or algo así.
That was today's, I think.
I think it came up on my page.
Oh, okay.
And I was just like, okay, I want to talk about it. But how did you phrase it?
It was, one of them was our parents crossed borders so we could cross stages. That's one.
Ese es el que pusiste ayer o antier, ¿no?
Today,
okay.
The one that was like a few days ago was our kids will be able to select college or higher for parents' education.
That's crazy, right? Because I remember like applying for all of for everything when it's college applications, scholarships, lo que sea, and they always ask you for what is your parents. I'm like, where's 6th grade and below?
Literally, some high school, things like that.
And like only they knew that it's like not even high school. Like my parents finished la primaria. And that is such a crazy thing that our children will be able to put like college. Or higher.
Yeah. Like our kids will be able to wear their parents' merch of where they went to school. And I think that's so cool because some of I think envy, or I don't know if it's envy or jealousy, but some of the classmates in high school where they were wear college merch.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really know what it was. And like,
oh, yeah, cuando te decían university day.
Sí, yeah. I didn't have any university merch.
Yeah. I had to email schools to see if they wanted to send me something. For free,
Oh,
yeah.
That's actually very resourceful of you.
¿Quién me quiere mandar cosas? Yo no tengo nada.
That's very content creator.
Mis papás no fueron.
PR?
I know, asking for PR in high school. Me mandan algo es porque mis papás no tienen dinero.
Yeah.
So, as we've mentioned, Jaime comes all the way from California to Chicago. You don't have family here, right?
I had one cousin who moved kind of
aren't they in Urbana?
They're in Urbana.
Yeah.
But they recently moved to UC Riverside because my cousin's boyfriend got a job there.
Yeah. So back in California? So now there's no family in Illinois. We could be your family.
Where your primas?
So how was that shift? First of all, like, ¿cuántos años tienes viviendo aquí en Chicago? And what was it that brought you here?
You know what? So July 5th was my 5-year anniversary.
Oh, okay.
Here?
Yeah. I got a job from after graduated Stanford.
Yeah.
I got a job here in Chicago with a startup. And I was like, you know what? It's the riskier option out of like the few options that I had. And I had people from Stanford and a conversation with my dad that really was like, you know what? I need to take the risky option.
Right.
And that's what made me move to Chicago.
The conversation with your dad, was it like making you lean towards coming or no?
Yeah,
Oh,
it was. And it was such a shift from like the conversation I had with him for undergrad, for Berkeley. You know, at that point, it was like, go to Berkeley.
No te vayas,
my
quédate
boss
aquí.
is telling me that it's the best school. Like, go there. The Chicago conversation, I was actually on my way to the airport with he was dropping me off at the airport. I was telling him about my options of whether I should stay in California at my old job because they would pay for my tuition. Like they would do a tuition reimbursement program.
Yeah.
Or stay in debt and move to Chicago, like from, you know, without knowing anybody. So you're starting life from scratch essentially. And basically he was telling me that as someone who does not have his own family, like, see, I don't have, he was like, you don't have kids, you don't have like a partner, you know, you are completely
a free agent right now.
You are a free agent. Like, this is the best time to do that.
Wow.
And then, and I told him, I was like, I'm worried because like, what if it doesn't work out?
You can always come back.
Yeah. No, and here's the thing. I've always taken the safe option.
Yeah.
Because I had that like eldest child syndrome.
Right.
And I was like, I cannot put my family at risk because all of the things that we've done to this point can all be thrown away if I make the wrong choice. So I've always had that mindset, right? Which was such a bad mindset to have.
It is.
You should have more of like a optimistic, high risk, high reward type of mentality. And my dad was like, because I told him I don't have a safety net, and he goes, you do have a safety net. If it doesn't work out, you can come back. Like we will be there, open arms. And I didn't think about it that way, right?
Yeah.
Because I felt like a safety net was financial,
Right.
Yeah.
but I have like my family, and that's like the biggest asset that there could be.
Y sabes qué? Imagínate, like to some people, they don't even have to think about that. Like the people that are genuinely raised in the individualistic culture, like los que son americanos, piensan por ellos mismos y no toman en cuenta like you're living with your parents. They were probably also relying on you financially at this point. Maybe if you were contributing to the household, I'm not sure.
Not financially, but a lot of things to allow them to work. Well.
So, I mean, I know that you carried at least like a big responsibility in your household, and, like, and you're thinking about all these things, y para otros se les hace tan difícil nomás levantarse e irse, pero nosotros tenemos que pensar, like, when I had to make a decision after college my parents were actually already relying on me to help pay for rent because they had just bought a house.
Right.
And I wasn't paying that much, but that little que yo estaba contribuyendo, they needed it because they do live paycheck to paycheck. And they were making me feel guilty for leaving. And they were like, no, mijas, que apenas agarramos la casa, ¿cómo le vamos a hacer? And one of my coworkers had that conversation with me that she was just like, your parents are the adults though. She's like, she's like,
they're going to do it.
She's like, they were already doing it before you, like when you left to college. She's like, you need to be selfish. And the thing is, it did end up working out for them after I left. Because claro que si te tienen allí, they're going to be depending on you. So the fact that your dad had that conversation with you, I feel like that gave you like the reassurance that and that push
I
that you
think that
needed.
was the conversation that actually made me put yes to like fly out to Chicago.
Oh, W for dad.
Yes.
Yeah. So how was it like? Because like Jaime was doing a lot of content with his grandma. I think a lot of your viral videos eran de tu abuelita, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Your grandma is such a character. She's the cutest grandma. Oh my God, I love her. How was it like leaving your grandma?
Well, that was difficult. I think that was also one of the like parts of the decision that made it so difficult.
Yeah.
Because I am the consentido, right?
Oh yeah, the eldest son and the household. ¿Y tu abuelita siempre vivió contigo toda tu vida?
Toda mi vida.
Toda tu vida.
Yeah. Yep.
So, pues, el más chiquito.
Yeah, I was definitely the chiquiado of the household. But what made it difficult was because I think I still was hanging around my grandma, especially also being at Stanford. Like I was close enough where I could like go and meet her and cook with her and all that kind of stuff. I think my siblings and my cousins were at the age where they were barely starting to branch off. And there's literally no guilt to them because I did that too, but earlier, right? Yeah. And now I was kind of coming back home, being there with my grandma while they were kind of starting to branch out in college, their careers, whatever it may be.
Right.
But I was close to her because I was there.
Yeah. So you were like, no, pues ahora ya ¿quién la va a venir a visitar? ¿Quién va a venir a, spend time with her?
And my grandma loved making content.
Yeah, I could tell.
She was the one.
She loves the camera.
There was times where I would just go home to visit and I thought I was just gonna like relax. Yeah. And she'd be like, oh no, vamos a hacer videos hoy. And I was like,
that.
No, and then that's why I was like, okay, pues let me look up, let me scroll a little bit, see a trending dance that we could do because.
Y tu abuelita es bien consentida, like she's like very much about también tilichera, ¿verdad?
Yes.
Why are all grandmas tilicheras?
Oh, my mom and my grandma.
She is a hoarder. She loves her little trinkets. She loves spending time at TJ Maxx, getting her little brooches. Yeah. And then you have all the brooches there on her shelf, just cluttering up space. But she loves attention too. Yeah. I remember when we were first making her recipe videos, because those were the ones that were going viral. Okay. Like us cooking. And I would show her the videos once it was done, and she would be so excited. She would be calling all of the tias, all of her...
Vayan a darle like,
yeah, all of her hijas, and she was like, ya somos famosos. She was like, Jaimito's mi socio, like we're in business together. It was her... You know what it was? It was like me injecting life back into her. Yeah. Because there was a time where she was just kind of like spending her days around the dining room table, the living room, the kitchen, but with no true like mission, right? No true purpose. And I felt like this is giving her a little bit more life, an assignment, right?
Sí,
like
porque como que dice, estoy trabajando, estoy haciendo algo.
Kind of like your suegro, like he loves the attention.
My suegro, every time I go to Mexico and I see him, ma hija, vamos a hacer un video.
Yes.
And he loves attention. Y le gusta que lo grabe.
Because you know what? Then the other family members, they call them and saying, hey, I saw you on the video.
Yeah.
And they love it. They light up. Yeah. So that's why I also continue. I mean, it was multiple reasons why I was doing content with her, but that was one. I also just wanted to preserve like her recipes. Yeah. Because no one else knows how to make the dishes that she does. Like, I'm telling you, I cannot try another menudo. I cannot try another
I need to do that with my grandma.
Dude, that's what we've been talking about. Like, we should do Mama Chila, her kitchen, porque nadie tiene el sazón como mi abuelita, and my grandma is stingy. She would not share.
She won't share.
But we can't call her. We can't call her to ask, because then I'm like, so, ¿también le pones ajos? Sí, poquito. Sí. But she forgets ingredients. I need to actually record her when she's cooking, because or else she's going to skip out on some ingredients when she's talking to you on the phone. So I feel like that is, honestly, they're diaries. Son diarios de la vida. Yeah. And you're always gonna have...
Y nadie de la familia tiene las recipes de mi grandma. So yo le he tratado de robar su recipe de los frijoles con huevo.
She makes some
the best frijoles con huevo.
Mixed
like
together.
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting.
And nobody can make them
them like her.
Yeah. Do you guys, coming from like Michoacan roots. Do you guys know what morisqueta is?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Some of my friends don't know what it is, but like my grandma makes the best morisqueta.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And like even her frijoles, like you said,
Yeah.
it's I don't know what
Es
it
un
is, but
sazón con amor. Yo creo que
¿Sabes qué? Las abuelas son muy tradicional y muy simples con las recetas.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like my mom gets a little bit more experimental, pero mi abuelita no es de experimentar.
No.
no. And the other thing is that they don't know measurements.
No,
right?
yeah.
So they're not going to tell you 1 teaspoon of this. They're going
You
to
could tell me, yo hice chocolate de mole porque my grandma told me que le echara, tantearle al agua,
I
tantearle
made
al
chocolate
mole.
de mole last time too.
And yeah, you did, you showed me. Y hice agua de res.
Sí.
Porque hice una olla de res con un pedacito de carne porque me dijo mi abuela tantearle al, and I'm like, and back in the day there was no TikTok, there was like YouTube, and I'm like, who's gonna watch YouTube? Yo tenía como unos 14, 15 años, and I'm like, I am not about to watch YouTube.
And imagine if we started YouTube channels back then.
I know.
I know.
That's
it's one of my
crazy.
biggest regrets.
Well, who knew? Who knew?
Who knew?
So wait, is that what started your social media journey?
Yeah.
Like los videos con tu abuelita?
See, it was to spend time with my grandma,
Yeah.
to give her a little bit more purpose, something to do, and then also to preserve her recipes.
Yeah.
That was the whole idea for why I started.
Yeah. And then when did you realize we're like, wait, this is starting to take off?
So I think it was, her recipe videos did very, very well.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people also just miss like traditional Mexican recipes.
Yeah.
It's a dying art. You know, not a lot of people are practicing it. But then when I moved to Chicago, I knew that I had to pivot because I didn't have any more, I can't access my grandma. But what I did before I left, I batched content.
Abuelita, vamos a hacer videos
And
por 20 horas.
Te me
I
tomas
told
tus
her,
para todo un año.
no, my family would always make fun of me like that. They would be like, wow, you're putting her to work. I was like, how many videos today? I would be like,
Getting her steps in.
no, I know. And here's the thing, I'm very organized.
Yeah.
So I had a whole like Notion doc.
Oh,
or like a Google Doc or whatever with like, here are the 20 videos that we're going to do this
Okay.
weekend.
Damn, that's smart though.
That is very smart.
Because I wanted to continue doing content while I was back in Chicago. And
Yeah.
I thought that what I could do once I was running out of content was fly back to California, batch more content and come back. But then obviously that that wasn't realistic.
Right.
So then I had announced on my social media, hey, I moved to Chicago. And a bunch of my Chicago friends who had already followed me and were my social media friends, they would reach out to me being like, hey, welcome to Chicago. I'd love to show you around. Let's go get coffee. Let's go get a meal.
I love that.
And that's kind of how I started breaking into the Chicago Latino content creator community.
Yeah. And I didn't even share how I met Jaime.
For real, ¿cómo se conocieron?
We met at what was the
Soccer
match?
game. It was
Bolivia?
I think it
Like
was
a friendly
Bolivia.
match? It was like
Oh, you met him at a soccer game.
Yeah, we were both invited by AT&T to attend like a friendly match of Mexico contra Bolivia, and we were in the suite together.
Oh, it was last year, ¿que no?
No.
2 years ago. Okay.
And I went with Marlon, and it wasn't a lot of content creators in our suite. So that's when I met Jaime and Rosie. Rosie's somebody else that we definitely want to bring on. And ever since then, that's how we all followed each other on social media, and we kept up. And I was starting to get into the social media world in terms of like, damn, I'm viral. What the fuck do I do with being viral? Because I had already reached a shit ton of followers, but I didn't know how to build community. So I would ask Jaime, who is not a gatekeeper, by the way, like he gave me some really insightful knowledge on how to grow as a content creator, because at this point, Jaime was getting brand deals. He was,
Right.
I asked you so many questions, and Jaime would give me responses in so much detail. That's why I feel like I appreciate you so much in terms of like the role that you had in my content creator journey, in terms of like how to grow. And especially with brand deals, I'm just like, how do you know how much to charge? And he told me like, this website, there's a calculator like that it gives you an idea of like cuánto deberías estar cobrando. And I was still undercharging in these fucking
Collaborations.
yeah, pero de un lado tuve que empezar, and I just always appreciate, like I knew that I could count on his advice, and I feel like I didn't want you to think that I was taking advantage of you, because I'm like, that is not it. I'm just like, I really like look up to like where you're currently at, and I want to get to that position, and also like to grow together, porque like, you know, there's always going to be events where they're like, oh, do you guys know more content creators and this and that? I'm like, I'm gonna bring everybody that helped me.
Yo soy bien preguntona. Yo me acuerdo cuando también le pregunté por primera vez que conocí a Nayeli.
Yeah.
I was just like, I need help because yo también soy otra
And
que
Rosie,
no
we
sabía.
asked Rosie a lot
Yeah,
of
we asked
questions
Rosie, la llevamos a comer, tenemos que llevar a comer para preguntarte más cosas.
You know, that's so sweet that you say that porque I'm still figuring it out too.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think I have it cracked. Like I haven't cracked the code. I'm still learning. It's still a new space. You know, most of my life was in corporate America. So being a content creator is so new to me. So when people ask me for tips and advice, it's almost like, oh, wow, like people think that I'm doing well.
Yeah.
But in the background, I'm like crashing out. You know, like I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing.
It can be, people don't, our struggles versus our parents' struggles, like, tengo que hacer 3 videos hoy.
No, people assume que porque estás haciendo videos and you already, like, te estás haciendo muchos seguidores, they assume that que ya estás ganando un montón de
and
dinero.
They think you're rich.
Yeah, and it's not like that, guys. It's really not like that.
Or like people are like, oh, how do you get brand deals? Like, can you teach me? I'm like, y'all, like I haven't pitched myself at all. Like, I think there's things that you can do to kind of better your chances, right? Like, make sure that you have your email in your bio. Otherwise, the influencer marketing manager has no way to reach out to you.
Yeah. Right.
And they're busy. They're not going to, work their, they're not going to spend more minutes to go into your DMs, maybe potentially get like blocked out. Like, you kind of have to think like them. Like, what will make their life easier?
Also, like realizing that, and maybe this is something, I think you told me this, and I always kept it in mind. You said your social media is like your portfolio. So like, when these marketing agencies are looking, they might just look up Chicago content creators when there's an event or something, and you're going to come up on TikTok or you're going to come up on Instagram. So making sure that, I mean, like your label, are you labeled as for me, it's Latina content creator, because I want people to reach out to me and knowing that I'm a bilingual speaker in case I'm like, I could do something in Spanish, I could do something in English. Pero también, what type of content are you creating that is going to make them want to work with you?
Imagine like them going through your grid or your feed and then having to tell their boss or their coworker, Alondra is this type of creator. But they only have like 10 seconds to get that from your page. Yeah. So if your page is all over the place, it's going to be hard for them to put a sentence together. Having your city in your bio también, because a lot of campaigns are market dependent. So you have to consider that as well.
Especially when it's like events.
Yeah. And the other thing is, if you expect or if you want to be a travel content creator, then you need to be making travel content. Yeah. You can't expect to
I think I'm all over the place.
I think I'm all over the place too, but you know what? One of I'm not going to mention the brand, but they were like, can you redo this and make it funny? Because we had pitched you guys as the funny creators. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. You want fucking funny? I'll give you fucking funny. I'm like, Harlan.
They perform.
Una novela. I'm like, please, your fucking face, make it funnier. Yeah.
But wouldn't have it been easier if they told you from the beginning, like, hey, we love your content,
your humorous content,
your comedy content, or we love it when you do this with your
like
boyfriend.
A skit or something. Then I'm like, okay, then you should have just fucking.
Te das una idea y dices, okay, voy a hacer esto, because yo puedo hacerlo profesional cuando hablo profesional, and then I could do the funny one when I put my husband and my kids.
And that's what they had told me. They said that they had only reached out to the talent was 3 creators. They're like, you were the one that we had chosen more for like the comedy style. Que alguien más, she does more like beauty related content. So her content was going to be her like doing like a get ready with me while she spoke.
Wow. And I not be the beauty content creator? Right? Am I not beautiful?
Right. And then luego la otra persona, she said he's much more like informative. He's like those people that are like on a serious note. You know, those people that could do like a fucking broadcast. So él hablaba de esa manera. So she was like, so you were the route where we wanted you to be funny. So she's like, and I was like, okay. I mean, you could have just fucking told me that. So
that's actually also a privilege to get that feedback, because normally you do not get that feedback, and now you know how to position yourself. Yeah.
Right now you said that you still have a lot of growing to do in social media, right? But we haven't mentioned that you are now a full-time content creator, right? Like when you told me that, I remember I was like shook it, because I was just like, how? That is amazing. Yeah. That is amazing, especially coming from corporate America, porque lo estabas haciendo you were doing both. I was. And that's where I'm at right now.
How did you transfer from being corporate America to just full-time
or
content?
like making that decision?
You know, I was working a lot. I was, doing the traditional 9 to 5. Right. And then I would go back to my apartment and I would script. I would script content, edit content. My weekends, I didn't see anybody because I was filming and batching my content for the week. Right. That way I had it to post that evening.
That's so organized.
I had to be, right.
He would be definitely my bestie.
Yeah,
my type A.
See, I'm very type A, but I think the decision point was I was just getting super burnt out doing both, and I gave myself like a number. I said I'm gonna save this much money so I can bet on myself, and that way I do not feel like money strapped.
Yeah. Right.
And like, let's say if if I don't get paid that month, because you know how brand deals are like net 30, net 60, net 90, then I would be okay. Yeah. So I figured out what that number would be. And then I also just was so burnt out that the way that I made my decision was my family did not work this hard for me to be suffering at a job and for me to be building someone else's dream.
That's true.
Like, that's where I'm at, dude.
I cannot be, I'm telling you, I cannot be building someone else's dream. So I went the content creator route. And the thing is, I don't think a lot of people describe content creation as entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is.
Yeah, you're your own boss.
You're your own boss. You are, you're essentially like fundraising by like, you know.
You're an advertiser, dude. We're like a walking billboard.
We're walking billboards here.
Yeah. Ya somos los nuevos comerciales.
That's true.
So I feel like a lot of people don't think of it that way because you're also negotiating contracts.
Yeah.
You are project managing. You are working with employees, pero you know, like with the brand managers.
Yeah, creative director.
You're doing all these roles, and you don't have time off, right? You can't put time to do like a paid time off because you're always working. You're always on the clock. But to be honest, my friends ask me all the time. You know, are you working more hours and are you happier? Yes, I'm working more hours, but I'm so much more happier.
Oh, I love that.
Because you're doing something you love.
And like the fact that I can do things on my own time.
Yeah.
Right? Like I can go to the grocery store on Tuesday at like 1 p.m.
Yeah. Or to the gym whenever it's not packed.
Do my laundry. Like you're not constrained to that 9 to 5.
Yeah. Oh man, I want that so fucking bad. And me tengo que poner las pinches pilas because Marlon did say if like for me.
Este año te dio este año, ¿no?
No, it was last year. I didn't meet it.
I'm a little late.
I didn't meet it. I didn't meet it. But it's okay because I have noticed a shift in the stars for me.
Yes.
I have been blessed a lot lately and I feel like it's only going to keep going up from there because I want to get to the point where I have so much content creator like opportunities where I'm just like, wait, maybe I can. Yes. But I would have to see it for a while. I would have to see a certain amount that would replace what I kind of make right now in my job. Because for me, y también por lo que nos enseñaron nuestros papás, like, you cannot just be unemployed. Like, I don't know. Yeah. None of that I've never. But I don't remember the last time I was unemployed. I've always had a job, even since I was 16. No, we worked our whole lives.
Yeah, I worked since I was 14. Well, technically, since I was like 10 or 9.
We have worked our whole lives with our mom.
14 was my first job.
So I've never not had a job. So yo sí necesito, and I'm a Cancer. I need that sense of security. I cannot just let go of a job because I'm stressed out. Because if it was that, I would have quit so many fucking jobs.
I could quit anytime.
And I'm not a quitter.
But my husband makes me not want to.
I'm not like, a quitter. No, I don't like to give up.
It's hard because also you let go of benefits. You let go of stability.
Yeah.
So that is tough. But I also, I left strategically.
Yeah.
I also left when I knew that I was getting brand deals consistently.
Yeah.
I had like an emergency
fund.
An emergency fund. Y también, I was also being invited to a lot of events, a lot of conferences. And at that point, I was like, I need to leave because I can't be taking all this time off of work.
Yeah.
Because I was also working at a startup. It was 7 of us. And I was sitting in the office right across the CEO and the CMO. Like it would be obvious that I wasn't in the office.
Right.
You know, I can't hide.
Yeah.
So it just wasn't the right opportunity for me. And it just made my decision easier.
Yeah. One thing that Jaime mentioned, because I know that sometimes you say that you go into your hermit mode.
A lot.
Because you're an introvert, right? Yeah. So like, I know that there's like, you go into your hermit mode and everything, pero I feel like you have so much to offer because you have so much knowledge. Like, and I know that you said that you were excited to come onto this podcast so you could practice more like the public speaking aspect because you could literally speak about like every every topic so eloquently, like about even just like higher education and social media. So those are the things that you talk about when you're invited to conferences, right?
Yes, but I would say most of it is my experience as a first-gen college graduate, more higher ed, because that's more of like my where my passion is.
Yeah, like your niche también.
Yeah, I feel like social media is more of the vehicle through which I talk about my passions. But I don't think social media is my passion.
I love that. Yeah, that makes sense. We are starting to wrap things up. Thank you so much, Jaime, for all of the insight, for all of your stories that you brought on today's episode. All right, these are going to be some speed round questions for Jaime Muñoz. ¿Tacos o tamales?
Tacos.
¿Horchata o Jamaica?
Horchata.
¿California o Chicago?
California.
¿Spanish first or English first?
I use English more, so I'll go English.
¿Pan dulce or hot Cheetos?
Pan dulce.
¿Mexican mom or Mexican grandma?
Mexican grandma.
¿Family party or staying home?
Staying home.
¿Corporate America or content creation?
Content creation.
¿Café de olla or matcha?
Café de olla. I love matcha too, but yeah.
Call your mom or text your mom?
Call. FaceTime. We FaceTime.
And then lastly, open-ended, biggest pet peeve?
Tardiness, but I was tardy today. So.
You were only 15 minutes
yeah, honestly,
late.
that was on time.
That was on time.
10.
They were 10 minutes late.
Don't publicize 15.
That's actually on time. That's Mexican.
Okay.
For me, that was on time.
No, it's because I think for me, I love to be there 10 minutes early.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn.
You're like me,
Just
pero
to
yo nunca llego temprano. Yo llego on time. Si me dices a las 3, yo llego a las 3.
Yeah, he said 6:13. I'm like, you have until 6:30.
You're like, we weren't planning on starting until 6:30.
Yeah, I'm like, you have until 6:30. What's your zodiac sign?
Scorpio.
So that is all for today. Thank you so much, Jaime. Anything else that you want to add for today's episode?
I'm super happy to be invited. I was telling the ladies that I watched the podcast from my living room. So I'm excited to see how my episode turns out. But I still have some episode favorites that I know I'm going to return to. So...
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Jaime. We truly appreciate it. I feel like this was it was flowing so much. Oh, and then any final advice for first generation students, creators, or entrepreneurs?
I think it was something that I mentioned earlier, and it's to consider the riskier option. I feel like we as first gen, we tend to take the safer option because of scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
And the pressure of failing. And I think that some of the most beautiful outcomes of my life happened because I took the risky decision.
Yeah.
So I would say consider it, and if you can, because I know sometimes it just can't happen, right? There's things that are preventing you from taking that option.
Right.
But if you can, I would say give yourself that option.
Yeah. Take a bet on yourself.
Take a bet on
That's
yourself.
nice.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so. And all his social media will be right here and also in the description. And if there's another content creator who's from Chicago and wants to be in a podcast, all our socials are going to be right here in the description. Thank you so much, and adios.
Bye.